welcome to Where in the World with Young Professionals, where we have real conversations with young professionals about life and career, all while attempting to guess where in the world they are. From week to week, we'll learn something new about our guests and what it's like to forge your own career path as a young professional. And when we say young, we're really talking about a state of mind. You will learn by watching this web series that your career will take many dips and turns over time. And just when you think you've made it, you might have to scrap it all and start from scratch. Sometimes that's the way it goes, and we ride the tide. I'm your host, Clary Johnson, and Lorena Alvarez Ruiz, founder of Design by Lorena, joins us today. Lorena is a brand creative and Squarespace web designer from Jersey City. She's also the host of one of my favorite podcasts this year, Conversations on Death. I highly recommend it. You can find it anywhere where you find your podcast. I listen on Spotify. The big, hairy question that we're asking today is how can young professionals know when it's time to let go and pivot? But before we get started, let's do some housekeeping. This is a mini web series game show. The questions will range from standard interview like questions to more personal questions about our guests' careers. You'll notice we're both here today with different backgrounds. In between questions, we'll each have an opportunity to guess where in the world the other person is, and the first person who guessed correctly, you got it, wins. Our guests can ask for any types of clues along the way, and our audience can help as well by also asking for clues. So I'd like to get started by welcoming Lorena.
Hey, thank you. This was an epic intro.
Yes.
Fuck. I love it. I need to do better for my intros. Jesus.
We try to go all out on this show. In fact, I'm super excited to have you here today because I actually want to try out some sound effects. Are you down to try out some sound effects with me?
Please.
This is the first time we've ever done sound effects on this show. And I'm only going to share a few of them with you. But my goal is that throughout the course of our shows, I'm going to add some new sound effects just to spice things up a little bit.
Spice it up, baby. I love
Cool.
spice.
Okay, so this is our switch up sound effect.
Sounds good.
Okay, so that means we're going to switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
We might use that one right in between the questions and our guesses. Sometimes I like to just change the mood a little bit, get right into our guesses. So that feels like a good sound effect for that.
I like it.
This one is actually one of my favorites. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Meow.
Okay, what does that mean?
I just feel like I'm gonna randomly throw that in there every now and then.
I love it.
Just
it's like
your
response. It's like saying, yeah. It's like,
meow.
Yep. Yeah, it goes with your facial expression and everything is perfect.
You know what? Let's do it. Okay.
Let's do it.
So here's another one. It's called Try Again.
Standard.
Yeah, that means you're wrong.
I didn't know that.
So if you're guessing where I'm at and you're totally off,
yeah,
try again.
Too bad I don't have sound effects because you're not gonna know where I'm at.
Oh, well, maybe I'll have to play the sound effects for myself.
Actually, I'll make it one, but I'm gonna do it with my mouth. I'll come up with my own sound effects.
Hey, okay, that gives me an idea of get a beatboxing sound effects. Okay,
love it.
This one is called Time's Ticking. This is the one that we'll do when you're taking way too long, either with your answers or with your guesses.
Okay. Okay. We might hear that one often.
Speed up a little bit. That just means okay. This is a fun one. This is the one you actually probably want to hear. Wow. That means you got the right answer.
Ooh. Wait, so what do we win if one of us wins?
Okay, so I've experimented with a few different things on this show. Right now, actually, I can show you what historically we've given guests on the show when they win.
Okay.
It is called a tech pouch. So you open
Oh.
this up, and I have several different colors of this. We have black, we have gray, blue, purple, and a few other colors. But you open this up, and my tech pouch is a hot mess right now. So, um, but if you open this up, it's all your tech equipment. So I
Yes.
have, yes. So this is great because I thought of this when I was living at home with mom. I was spending lots of time in coffee shops, and I realized that every time I would go to a coffee shop and I was getting my stuff together, I would forget cables and cords. And so I was
Mhm.
like, I need a space where I can put all my cables and cords so they're not
Yeah.
just thrown across the bottom of my purse or the bottom of my bag and I can't find them. I'm spending minutes trying to look for the right cable. And I need
Yeah.
to have a space for that. So enter our Tap That Tech pouch. So,
I'm coming for that.
okay, I got you. I got you. I got you.
I need it. I literally need it right now. I'm looking at my cables. It's
Well,
rough. Wait,
you
what's
got
that
it.
one?
You got it.
Oh, I was like, what does that mean?
Cool. All right. So let's let's hop in. So Lorena, this is truly a reunion come true for me because we met recently in New York during the Squarespace Circle conference. We struck up a conversation there at the hotel, and I was so enthralled by you and by our conversation that I just had to keep in touch. And so we kept in touch throughout the conference. And you were so much fun to talk to and enjoy getting to know. So I couldn't pass up the opportunity to invite you on the show. So welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The feeling is mutual.
Now, you've had a colorful career and some pretty cool jobs, if I would say so myself. I can't wait to dig in. So let's kick it off with our most commonly asked interview question.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Okay. You please tell me if I'm going in too much detail because I don't know how much you want to know at this point.
Everything.
All right. Well, I was born in Argentina. I moved to the US when I was 10 years old. I studied psychology. I thought I wanted to work with the elderly. Then I decided I'm going to be a flight attendant for 2 years and try that out for 2 years and then continue my career or continue studying, I don't know, a master's in something, social work or something like that. Um, but that was back in 2015 is when I got my flight attendant job after several trials. Um, and I haven't quit because it's fucking dope and it allows me to live the kind of lifestyle that I want to have. I also, about 2 years ago, started my own business. Second time. We can talk about that later. I think we will. But anyway, this time I do branded web design. Um, yeah. So basically, currently, I'm rebranding. Sometime next month, I'm no longer going to be designed by Lorena. I'm going to be something else.
Okay.
So yeah, and yeah, I'm in the process of that, figuring out, you know, my packages and all those things and how to live my life flying while also, running a business and growing a business and, and also my hobbies like my podcasts and a lot of interests that I have. Yeah, that make my life feel nice.
Yeah, and you're sharing so much of yourself with us on the show, and I'm super appreciative of that. But what I noticed from your answer is that you're really talking about several different interests that are coming
Mhm.
together to create a full life for
Yeah.
yourself. And I know we're going to ask a question a little bit later about how you balance all of that. But this is just a message for young professionals who are out there who maybe feel like I have all of these ideas, all these things that I want to do, and I'm finding it really hard to be focused or to streamline it or to make it feel very tangible in a manageable way. Um, and this is a message to you to say you can do it and you can do the things that you want to do and you can try everything that you want to try. Um, One of the things that I love to say is, one thing that we can't control is time. Time
Mhm.
is one of those factors that is totally outside of our control, right? But we can control our preparation, and we can control how we use our time. And so, if you think about the time that you have in your life, um, why not spend that doing things that you enjoy doing and things that you love and that actually fulfill you, right?
Yeah.
And I think we sometimes limit ourselves, and we put ourselves in this box of what we think maybe our parents want us to be, or what society tells us that we need to be successful. But the reality is that as long as you're pursuing that vision and that purpose that you have for yourself, um, you know, as long as you're feeling fulfilled, that's what matters.
Yep. Absolutely. It's about fulfillment. And yeah, if you just kind of follow what you think you should be doing, what other people are telling you to do, that's how you end up almost like shriveling up your creativity, and your soul shrivels up over time. And you just end up dying unhappy and with regrets of things you wanted to do your whole life, but didn't have the courage to do, or whatever it may be. Just, I'm all about doing the thing, trying the thing. And if it doesn't work out, then awesome, but you tried it, and that's not something you're going to regret most of the time.
And this is something that comes up in your podcast. You talk about
Yeah.
this in your Conversation on Death podcast, is about, well, you're interviewing people, and those
Right.
folks talk about the people that they help kind of escort into the afterlife, and some of the regrets that they have when they're on their deathbeds. And a lot of times it's about the relationships
Yeah.
that I didn't pursue,
Yeah.
or the things that I didn't do, or and those are the experiences that I never actually created for myself or allowed myself to have.
Right.
um so everything that you're saying is so tangible, and when we look back, it's really about what is the legacy that we want to leave behind.
Yeah. Or also, sometimes no legacy at all is cool too. I actually just interviewed this lady today. Every time I'm for my podcast, I ask two questions to the people that I have as guests at the end. What question number one is, um, if you were to die tomorrow, how would you like to be remembered? And then the second question is, if you were to compile all the knowledge and wisdom that you've gained throughout your life into a message to share with the world, what would it be? And for the first question, she was like, you know what? I don't think I want to leave a legacy or be remembered. And it's funny because she's actually a historian, but she's like, honestly, we have no say in how we're remembered, because people will remember you differently. It's almost like we're different versions of ourselves with different people anyway. And at the end of the day, we're people are gonna forget us. Like, no matter what. It's like she's like, you can either do something really amazing or something really bad, and that's like the only way people will actually remember you throughout history. The people that kind of fall in the middle, eventually you're kind of forgotten, and that's cool too. It's just part of, like, you have to learn to be okay with that as well. I think what matters the most is almost like, how were you able to impact the people around you? How were you able to make their life better, if that's something you want to do, or whatever it is, whatever fulfills you? It's about more of the present than almost like, okay, how can I make sure people remember me or leave a legacy or whatever? I don't know. I also believe that that's important, but then today I just feel like playing devil's advocate, and you know, I think it's all valid.
Yeah, and one of the things that we talk about on this show a lot is kind of like the tides of life. And what I hear you describing is a ripple.
Yeah.
So, just your pure existence of you just
Mhm.
existing and being present in any
Yeah.
space creates a ripple effect.
Yep. Mhm.
Every choice that you make, every thought that you have,
Yeah.
every word that you speak creates a ripple, and that creates impact.
Mhm.
And so, if we center ourselves and really get down to, when we talk about legacy, legacy feels very big, but maybe
Yeah.
just think about, like, what kind of ripple do I want to create?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? And then you can be okay with maybe not being, the Obamas who get written down in the history books, but you get okay
Hmm.
with just being yourself because you are someone who made a real impact,
Yeah.
whether it was in other people's lives, whether it was in the environment, whether it was just yourself and the way that you showed up and the love that you carried with you and the energy that you shared with other people.
Yep.
um, you never know, like just a high or a smile can really change someone's life, change someone's day, change someone's life, change the trajectory. um, and so it's really about getting back to who we are and really putting a focus on, well, how am I showing up in these spaces? And I think that is really relevant to the conversation about career as well. It's like thinking about when you're going to work, wherever that is, whether you're working in a 9 to 5 office, whether you're working remotely, you're interacting with other people. How are you showing up in those environments and in those spaces? And what kind of ripple are you creating
Right.
in your workspace?
Yeah. It doesn't always have to be about your career and like, is that super meaningful and does that create a lot of ripples? It can literally, you have the power to make ripples in literally any little way, just like you said, like a smile, saying hi to someone, literally mention anything. People remember specific things. Like they could hear the same thing for years and it never clicks for them. And then someone says it a specific way and they're like, oh shit, okay, yeah, that's what I need to do. And a life has changed and you didn't even know about it. I just want to say one more thing about this.
Of course.
There is a book called The Five People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom, and I highly recommend it. I used to be obsessed with this book. I don't find it to be that amazing anymore, but I do think it's a great way to kind of like it showcases how someone's life has those ripple effect kind of impact. Throughout their life, even though they felt like they had an insignificant life, right? Like, I don't think there is such a thing, but it's a really cool book.
Meow.
So.
Meow.
That is the
Meow.
perfect time.
Meow.
Damn, girl, 4 meows. Oh, it just keeps going.
It's a loop.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. So, really, really great book.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's take a break here and guess where in the world the other person is. So, I'm going to describe your background for
Yeah.
viewers. Give me 1 second.
Should I move?
So, it looks like you are in a gazebo.
Looks like it.
There's some white pillars. It looks like wow, that's a lot of pillars. It's like 10 white pillars. And there are like 4 white tables or white chairs at the center of this gazebo.
Mm-hmm.
There's some greenery in the back, looking like some vines, some brick to the left. It looks like a place where someone would get married.
Mm.
It looks like a garden of some sort.
Am I supposed to
No.
say or ding ding?
So I'm
Mm,
going to guess that you are somewhere in Spain.
no. Wrong.
Wait, here he goes. Wait.
Yep. Wrong. Okay.
So
Good try.
give me a clue about this place.
It is a Spanish speaking place, but
Okay.
it's not Spain.
Okay. I wasn't far off though.
Okay. Yeah. Some European influence. Yeah.
All right. So it's a Spanish speaking place.
Yep.
Excellent. I can run with that. All right. So your turn.
Do I have to describe it?
So this is not currently a podcast, but in the future it will be.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay.
yes, I do like to describe the background for our listeners.
Okay. So clear blue sky, a mountaintop with some snow on it on the left. On the right, it's like another kind of mountain thing, but it has a bunch of houses. I think a road towards the bottom and some sort of, I don't know. A building that is white and red, and then a bunch of little houses like on the hill slash mountain situation. Um, what is there more?
That's about it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Um, are you in? I'm just gonna start big. Are you in Europe?
I am not in Europe,
Mm,
but I will give you a clue about this place.
okay,
So, this place is considered one of the most secluded regions on Earth.
that's fucked up. Why would you do that to me? I probably don't know it.
The average mountain of this region stands above 20,000 feet tall.
Okay, I'm about to Google this. I'm just kidding.
No,
JK,
no,
JK.
no, you can use Google. Google is a viable
Oh,
source of
really?
inspiration for these questions. Yes.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I
All right.
I already did my guess, right?
You
No more
did.
guesses yet.
No
Okay.
more guesses. All right.
All right.
So, when we were preparing for this interview, you mentioned that you applied several times for the flight attendant role before
Yeah.
you actually secured it. Can you talk about perseverance through the process of applying for jobs? I know that for me and for many of the students that I've mentored, sometimes I talk to people who say, I've applied for literally 100 jobs and I've never heard back or I've got no. Can you talk about perseverance in those situations?
I think I had the dream, I guess, really clear in my head of what I wanted my life, at least for the next couple of years, to be like. And I had a clear understanding of what being a flight attendant would bring to my life. Um, and I think that belief and that want is what created the drive to continue even when I got no's. I think I applied to like 2 or 3 different airlines. Um, Also, it's kind of normal to not get the job when you first apply. A lot of people wanna be flight attendants. So, yeah, I guess just in general, it felt like I felt in my gut that that's what I needed to be doing, and I knew in my gut as well that I was gonna get it at some point, and I almost wasn't that disappointed when I didn't get it the first time because there was an airline that right before I got it with the airline I work with now, I went through in the interview process all the way through. So like you have to get through certain steps. First, it's like a video interview, then it's in person, like a huge group, and then through from that they only pick like 10 people to do one-on-one interviews. I made it all the way to the end, and the guy and I didn't vibe. And even then, when I was like almost there, I trusted that that just wasn't the one for me. I don't know. I guess I was just really optimistic and hopeful. I was also young. I don't know. I just knew I had clarity, and I knew that if I just kept continuing to try, I was going to get it eventually. And I did.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, what you said was I knew that I was going to get it.
Yeah.
And it's that conviction for me.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, you know, we, we're very reasonable human beings. A lot of people, we're very reasonable, right? We work on facts, we work on systems. So do the facts point to the fact that I'm going to get this job, right? How many jobs have I applied for? How
Right.
many people have reached out to me? What's the probability that I'm actually going to get this job? But sometimes that left brain thinking doesn't always work,
Yeah.
right? Like, and that's why we talk about riding the tide, because there's so many different elements and different factors that can really influence whether or not we reach a goal or whether we achieve the thing that we set out to achieve. And sometimes what it comes down to is our own faith and how strongly we believe and how steadfast we are in our belief that this opportunity is for me. And if I get rejected, if they tell me no, if they slam the door in my face, that might be an indication for you to try again, to try a new message, to seek another path. It may not necessarily mean stop. And so I think um, what you're saying is so profound, because what it really takes to reach that goal is an unwavering belief that we can
Hmm.
get there and that we can achieve it. And belief isn't just like this psychological cognitive expression, it's us actually doing the action and taking the steps, right? That which might mean applying several times for the same role. I remember my job, the role that I got at Google, same thing. I was like, I just had this belief. I would tell people like, I'm going to work there one day. How do you
Yeah.
know?
You
I
just
don't
knew.
know. I'm just going
Yeah.
to, I just know it's going to happen. I applied for that job at least 7 times before I got my interview. And so it's, I think there's something about being very grounded in your own vision of what
Hmm.
you want and what is possible for you that can really be the difference.
Yeah.
So I love that you shared that.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, let's guess.
Oh fuck. um,
Well, excuse me.
are you gonna go first?
And also, I want to apologize to all the listeners. I am still getting over a cold. If you watched the show last week, you saw that I was not well. I am on the bitter end of that. So please give me some compassion, and I'm also giving myself grace and compassion as well in this moment. I'm gonna guess where you are. So we know we're in a Spanish-speaking place. There are lots of Spanish-speaking places,
Yeah.
but I can pinpoint where we are by the continent. So I like to start. I have a strategy for the show, by the way. If you haven't tell, I've been doing
I
it for
mean,
a while.
as you should.
I start with the 7 continents and then I break it down. Right. So we know we're in a Spanish speaking continent. So it's possible that you are in South America. Are you in South America?
Yes. Hmm.
South America, not Central America.
Correct.
And that does not include Mexico. Mexico is not South America.
Correct. I know. Yeah, I think that's central. No, it's definitely south.
Hey, I think I may know where you are. Did you make
Not
this
not
easy for me?
truly though. Not truly though.
You're like not for real.
Like you may know kind of, but not really.
Okay, okay. Well, luckily we have plenty of questions to get there. But it is now
Okay.
your turn to guess where I am in the world.
Um, are you in Canada?
I'm not in Canada. You guessed that before the show, and I said no.
I know, but you didn't really
Oh, I
answer.
did it.
No, you kind of said I think you said let's wait till the show or something, and I was like, oh, she's in Canada. That's what I learned out of that. Clearly, maybe you did tell me
That was your
no,
key
and
takeaway. I am not
oh,
in
damn it.
Canada, but I will give you a fun fact about this place.
Okay.
Buddhism is the foundation of the culture and everyday life in this place. Buddhism.
You said it's an. Did you say it's an island or something? What did you say
No, no,
earlier?
no. What I said was this is guess number one.
Yeah.
This place is considered to be one of the most secluded regions on Earth. Does not mean that it's an island.
Buddhism. Oh, fuck.
It just means that it's secluded. All right, cool.
This is not gonna happen. I need to get my own little cable bag, I think.
So, would you like to guess where in the world? Oh, you already guessed Canada.
Yeah, I guess. Bang. God damn it.
All right, cool. So, let's move on to our next question.
Yes.
When and this is actually a follow-up to our previous question.
Yeah.
And this is actually the big hairy question of the evening is when you're on a path, right? And you just have this feeling that this is for me. How do you know after you've tried and tried and tried? How do you know when to keep trying the same path and when it's time to pivot?
Hmm. I think this takes time to figure out, and we may not even be 100%. But for me, at least, it has to do with my intuition and what feels right to me. Um, I think a way, because sometimes, we just use our head all the time when we make decisions, like what's the most logical next step or what makes sense for me to do now. Um, and to use our intuition, it's almost like sometimes we just don't really know. I don't know what I'm actually feeling or what my body or my higher self or who the fuck ever is telling me that, like, which direction I should go. Um, I think maybe a way to help yourself with this is, for example, when you can't make a decision about something, flip a coin and decide what's going to be what, and then when you get the answer, your gut reaction to what the answer was that you got is your actual answer. So like if you were like, oh, like I didn't want that answer, then there you go. And if you're like, dope, then there you go. Like, so maybe when you're like at crossroads like that, should I continue this, should I not, I think that might be a helpful way, other than if you have absolutely mastered tuning into your intuition and figuring out what's best for you and your journey, which is not really that easy to do. Not saying I've mastered it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Meow.
like
I hate you. uh,
so I that resonates with me because one
mhm,
of the questions I struggle with this a lot is because I've also struggled with anxiety, generalized anxiety.
mm,
And so some of the questions I've asked in the past is, well, how can I tell when it's my intuition speaking and when it's my anxiety speaking? Right? Because
yeah,
they're both voices in your head. Anxiety is very loud, very bold, very persistent. Whereas if I find that your intuition is very small and very quiet and
mm,
um it's almost like hearing a bird chirping, but because you hear it so often, you kind of tune it out, right?
yeah.
And
You have to train
so
yourself.
yeah, so you have to kind of train yourself to
Yeah,
hear it because it's really quiet, but it's there. And so I like this idea about flipping a coin, and I think it's something that I actually want to try. Because it is, I think, training yourself to trust your
yeah,
own judgment.
right.
And depending on how you were brought up or what kind of experiences you have, you may have been in environments where you learned to doubt your own judgment or
Yeah,
to prioritize someone else's judgment or opinion over your own. And so you got out of this habit, right? Out of this training of actually using your own intuition. And so there's a process that needs to happen there for you to kind of retrain yourself and get back into the habit of hearing your own voice and taking steps to actually listen and honor that. So,
can I share something real quick?
of course.
I'm being called to share this. When I started flying, um, for some reason, was also around the time that I started developing a closer connection to my intuition. And what I would do is I would be on like a layover in a random town. Like I remember specifically I was in Rome this one time, just walking around by myself, and I like I basically I would stand at in a corner and be like, which way should I go? And then I would listen, or for me it's more of a feeling. I don't it's not like a voice, it's a feeling I get like in my stomach. I don't know how to explain it. But then the way that I would end up going is like I wasn't using GPS or anything like that, and I ended up meeting the people I needed to meet, ending up at a place that I actually was trying to get to, but I didn't, look up how to get there. Little things like that, I guess, were training my intuition to like for me to be able to hear it. Super simple. Like, should I go left or right? And see what happens. And then over time, I think you start developing a closer relationship to it and able to hear or feel or whatever it is that you're telling yourself to do. I don't like saying being told to do because it's like something else. But anyways, okay, that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
You can meow me now.
okay.
Meow.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. So let's switch it up. Okay. It's
Yeah.
time to guess where in the world you are, because I need to find out. Right.
Yeah.
So you're in a Spanish speaking country. You are in South America. The only place that I can guess, given what you've shared today, is that you're in Argentina.
Yeah, but it's not going to be that easy.
Okay, but I have narrowed it down to the geographical location.
Yeah, I'm also literally in Argentina right now, so that helps. If
Well,
I wasn't in Argentina right now, I don't think you would have gotten this easily, okay?
that's very true. It would have taken me, I mean, I don't know how many countries are in Argentina, but it probably would have taken me at least half
You
of
mean
all
in
the
South
countries.
America?
I mean, South America.
Meow.
Meow.
Um, okay, cool. Well, it's your turn to
Oh
guess where
my
I'm at.
god. Dude, I don't know. Indonesia.
This is not in Indonesia. However, I'm going
What?
to look up Indonesia in relationship to this place
Mm.
and try to give you.
Wait, Indonesia doesn't even I don't even know if they have mountains like that.
Mm.
Dude, I'm not going to get this. I'm really bad at geography.
But see, but here's the thing. You know a couple things about this place. You know it's a very secluded region. You also know that Buddhism is a primary way of life in this place. So,
Mhm.
I'm actually going to look this up for you and try to find out how far we are from Indonesia. We're not that far.
Okay, I'm bringing out
We
search
are,
engine.
so Indonesia is an island.
Right.
We are not on an island.
Didn't you tell me
But
that already? I suck at this. God damn it.
so
This
if you
is
believe that you
horrible.
will get the answer, you will get the answer.
Dude. Is it
Follow your
Malaysia?
intuition.
Is it Malaysia?
Um, we are not in Malaysia, but
Fuck.
you are closer than you were with Indonesia. With that said, it's time to switch it up.
God damn. Okay. Let's do it.
All right. So, for people who are interested in entrepreneurship, because you talk a little bit about it, but they're not quite sure how to get started, and maybe they have a part-time job right now, and they're interested in, well, how do I even start a business?
Mhm.
Can you talk about the first business that you launched, and at what point? Uh, yeah, can you talk a little bit about the first business that you launched?
Yeah. That was maybe 5, 6 years ago, something like that. It was holistic health coaching. So I was helping women who wanted to transition to a plant-based diet, basically. Um, yeah, I was really passionate about veganism, plant-based nutrition. I still am, but I really wanted to help people, and that was the driving force. Kind of like spreading the message and the knowledge of being able to take accountability and yeah, just basically being able to reverse health issues and stuff like that through what you eat. Um, and I think I did, I can't remember exactly, but I did it for like a year and a half, something like that. Um, I don't, I know for sure that the reason that I stopped it was when I realized I'm just not into social media. I'm still struggling through that right now, except it feels less shitty this time around. I don't know why. But I started realizing that just in my day to day life, I was not present. And whenever I was anywhere, really, I'd be like thinking of content. And I absolutely hated that. So yeah, I was just like, this just doesn't feel right anymore. I can't say that I tried everything to be successful and whatever. I kind of just really enjoyed growing a business and like learning about entrepreneurship and being coached by a business coach and meeting other entrepreneurs and stuff like that. So um I missed it, and hence why I wanted to start a new one, and then ran into web design, later brand design. But yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean, so there's this interesting balance that's happening in the conversation where we're talking about having a vision about something that we really want to set out and achieve and we know we can get it, and then
Mhm.
going after a vision and then realizing that maybe this isn't it,
Yeah.
like maybe there's something else, or maybe this isn't the perfect fit. Like, this is
Mhm.
what I want to do. I want to do business, but maybe this isn't the type of business that I want to do. Can you talk a little bit more about how you were able to make that distinction?
Um, I guess I realized I started to lose interest in it. Um, but once again, I'm just not sure that it was me kind of, playing small or just not being fully committed to the vision that I had, and how I wanted to grow my business. It's hard for me to tell whether basically I stopped because I was giving myself coming up with excuses and I just decided to give in to them, or whether I truly was like, no, this isn't for me anymore. I don't know, but I do know now, looking back, that it was the right decision.
Yeah. And at the same time, you gained some skills in that first
Yeah,
experience that set you up for
absolutely.
the next
Exactly.
opportunity, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what it is,
Yeah.
right? Um, I know for me, I've had jobs in the past where I've thought, man, this is the job. This is a dream job.
Mhm.
Once I get there, I'm going to be there for the rest of my life. I'm never going to
Yeah.
leave. And it ends up just being that that was an opportunity that set me up for that next step that
Yeah.
I didn't even consider as a possibility for myself. And so I think we also need to be open to that idea. I think,
Mhm.
and I actually talked about this last episode with Troy about this idea of like really separating yourself from the vision that you have and allowing the vision to exist independently of your own identity, right?
Mm. That one's hard sometimes
It
as
is.
entrepreneurs. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we there's so much of us that we put into what we
Yeah. We
produce.
birth ideas. Yeah.
Beautiful. And and so much so that it becomes a reflection of who
Right.
we think we are, right?
Yeah. You got to
And
check yourself.
yeah, and so then it's
Mhm.
hard to actually let go
Yeah.
after you've like, oh man, I've invested so much into this, so much
Right.
money, so much time, so much energy, so much effort, so many
Mhm.
relationships, that I can't possibly let go and pivot to something else.
Right. But then that's the trap. If you continue to think that way, then you stay stuck doing something you don't want to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well then,
Mm. Oh,
it's time
love
to
it.
guess where in the world Lorena is.
Yes.
So we are in Argentina, which
Yep.
I was able to deduce from my psychic intuition.
Yeah.
But the challenge here is guessing where in Argentina Lorena
Mhm.
is.
See.
Um,
Donde?
so this is going to be a lot more challenging because Argentina is a very big place.
Mhm.
Um, however, there's a white gazebo. It looks like at least 12 pillars, white pillars, some chairs at the center of this place. It looks like we're in a garden. There is some brick on the side, so there is some kind of an establishment that is attached to this place. There are some vines in the back, some greenery. I imagine they probably have mangoes and fresh pineapples that come out, in the middle of the day, and this is where people go to have their morning snacks. Um, I'm just gonna take a guess.
Please.
Are you in a garden?
Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
Is it a famous garden?
Nope.
Hey. Like, how am I gonna get this?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Okay, give me another guess about
Like
this
a
place.
clue, you mean?
Yes, another clue.
Um, it was part of my childhood.
Oh, it was part of your childhood. So you grew up in Argentina.
Correct. I left when I was 10.
You were you left when you were 10. So this
Mhm.
was okay. I have a couple guesses. I have two places where you could be.
Okay. Are you gonna give them to me?
Not right now,
God damn.
because it's your turn to guess
Oh
where I
my
am.
god. Can I just give up already? Okay. Um, sorry, I'm looking at a map.
Oh, perfect. Well, so you did guess that we were in Malaysia? We are
Oh, I did say at the end. I did
yeah.
say that. I don't know if you said yes or no to that. Did
No,
you?
we are not in Malaysia, but you are closer than you were with Indonesia.
Um, okay. You are in Vietnam. Do they have mountains? God damn, I
We
don't
are
know.
not in Vietnam. I
I
believe
don't fucking
I
know.
believe there are mountains in Vietnam. We are not in Vietnam, but you are closer. Actually, does Vietnam have mountains? But you are closer than you were with Malaysia.
You're in
Slightly
Thailand.
closer. No, not in Thailand, but you're closer than you were with
You're
Vietnam.
in Cambodia. God, Jesus.
Cambodia would be further away than Thailand. We are not in Cambodia. Okay, great. Well,
Oh,
let me give you a clue about
please.
this place.
Yeah.
Um, 47% of the world's population depends on the flow of fresh water from this place. I will repeat that because that's actually pretty impressive. 47%, nearly 50% of the world's population depends on the flow of fresh water from this place.
I'm Googling.
Go ahead and Google, girl. All right. Awesome. Well, that brings us to our next question. Let's switch it up.
Switch it up.
Okay, so let's talk about you've talked about being a self-taught designer.
See.
And you're not alone. So, nearly 60% of post secondary education seekers take online courses. That's according to Forbes. Let's talk a little bit more about virtual learning. What tips do you have for young professionals who are considering online courses or even YouTube as a viable resource for career accelerating education?
First of all, don't question it because it's legit. um, that's step one. I think it's almost pointless now to invest a shit ton of money. I mean, I don't want to say that because I do love, college and things like that, but it's just for certain things, I don't think it's actually necessary when you can get the same kind of knowledge and probably even better and more in depth and more real world scenarios than you would in school. Um, what else do I have in terms of advice? I guess do your research. The problem too, I find for myself and a lot of people, I think you're always being sold to in a sense, especially when you're in this entrepreneurial world. Um, so it's very easy to find a lot of things that you want to buy, a lot of courses you want to invest in, a lot of coaches you might want to hire, whatever it is. And maybe give yourself a goal to not invest, no more than one course a year or whatever it is. There's also a lot of courses that are free. What is that thing called where you can get, you pay like a yearly
There's
subscription?
Khan Academy. There is
Yes. What's the other one? Anyway, all of these places, I forget the name of it right now, but I'm part of it. You can get super top notch education. You pay, I think it's like 150 or something for a whole year. And there's all sorts of different courses that you can take on there. And also, I guess you have to be somewhat self-disciplined in a sense, or you have to know how you learn better. Some people learn better by reading, some people learn better by video. There's that, and then also, do you learn better by working with a group and doing things live, or a self-paced course? Are you going to be able to hold yourself accountable to do the homework if you're doing it by yourself? All of these things, you might not know the answer to any of them until you try different ways. And that's cool too. It's part of the process. Everything is a learning experience, even the things that are considered failures. That's not a thing. In my opinion, at least.
yeah, I mean, and there's something to be said about being self-taught, like learning by actually just doing.
Oh yeah. That's
Be,
the
be,
other one.
because like even in my experience, so we're both know each other because we were at Squarespace
Right.
Circle. I build Squarespace websites, but the website that I have now for my business didn't always look like that, right? Like it looked like a beginner made it because a beginner didn't make it at one
Uh-huh.
point, right? And I learned over time how to develop that skill by creating more websites for myself, by creating
Yeah.
websites for my clients. And over time, now I can build WordPress websites, I can build Squarespace websites, I can build Wix websites.
Yeah.
Um, and so, and you also learn to come to find that a lot of these tools are very similar as well
Mhm.
as you start to work with them. But one of the things that I kept saying is I need to go back to school to learn typography and color theory. And someone was like, why? Right? Like you already know all this stuff. Like you're already literally already doing
Yeah.
it. And I think there's something to be said about feeling like what you already know is not enough, and like you need
Oh
to
my
keep
god.
going
Yeah.
and getting more education, and you need to pay for a course, and you need to pay for a
Mhm.
class, and then
Mhm.
you need to hire somebody to teach you. And a lot of times what you end up finding is like, whoa, I already know this stuff, I'm
Yeah.
already doing it. I just didn't realize because I don't have that formal education that I can point to that proves that I know the thing. So for me, I'm not sure how I really stack up against other people who are doing the similar things.
Yeah.
And that's what I find too is, um sometimes I'll start to see design work from other designers, and I'll look at my work and say, "Whoa, that's not bad," right? And so I think there is something about being brave
Yeah.
and giving yourself permission to teach yourself and learn at your own
Right.
pace and try and fail. And I can
Mhm.
point to, and it's hilarious enough, I haven't yet like Udemy subscription where I've paid for courses on
Yeah.
color theory and
Yeah.
typography, and
Mhm.
I've literally never cracked open those courses. Like they're still sitting collecting
Yeah.
dust in Udemy's cloud system
Yeah.
because I'm doing it every single day, and it's literally what you said about understanding how you like to learn. I'm a very hands-on learner. That's
Mhm.
how I that's how I pick up information really quickly, really
Yeah.
easily. And so for me, actually doing is the best place, is the best learning place
Yeah.
for me.
I think for most people, I think, you know what? Like, scratch everything I just said. Basically, just do the thing because we can get into this trap of like, I'll never be ready. I have to learn this thing. Now I have to learn this next thing. I mean, I've been there. And sometimes you just got to say to yourself, bitch, stop that shit and just do. Like, you have to do. You might suck at the beginning, but like everyone did. And you just learn by doing. So yeah, don't get too into the weaves of that. Like the courses and always learning. And yes, there should be some sort of balance when it comes to that, but just doing the thing, that's how you learn by experience. So
Beautifully said.
yeah.
Meow.
Meow.
All right, cool. Well, so we're both very far off from guessing where the other person
Oh damn.
is. But I think I might be closer than you.
Yeah,
So we're in Argentina. This is a place that is significant to your childhood.
correct.
Um, I'm gonna guess that we're in a school.
Eh.
Okay, give me another clue about this place.
um Someone dear to my heart built this.
Oh,
That's a huge clue, actually. I shouldn't even have said it.
is this a person, a public figure, like someone that I can read about in Wikipedia?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Oh, so this is a really personal place.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I guessed before the show that this is your backyard, and you said no. So it's not your backyard. Um, but okay, I will
It's not
guess.
my backyard, no.
Oh,
Oh, love it.
all right. Well, it's your turn now.
Oh my fucking god. Okay, well, Google did not help with the 47% of world's population. um, can I just give up?
No, you can't.
Oh my.
I mean, can you? Sure. What? Who am I to say no?
I am closer. I'm further away in Thailand. It's not Vietnam. Wait, you said it's not Vietnam. Malaysia was further away
Correct.
than.
Thailand is the close. Like you're there, but you're not there. So this
Uh,
place is northwest of Thailand. And I'm going to give you another fun fact about this place as well.
give it to me.
Okay. Um so this is first in this place. So the place behind me with the buildings was first established in 1167. Um and it is the most famous sky burial site in the central of this place. In the center of this place.
Sky burial site?
Sky burial site. Yes.
What the fuck does
It's
that
a
even mean?
famous sky burial site.
Um, Drigung Till Monastery. What?
How did you go from let me give up to I guess it
Google, dude. 1167. I mean, I put 1167 established most famous sky burial site, and that was it. I think I'm getting my goodie bag for my cables, baby.
yes, you will be
Oh
receiving
my
this tech
gosh.
bag.
I'm way too excited.
So you are correct. We are in Tibet. We are
Okay.
at the Drigung Til Monastery. It is the head monastery of the Drigungpa School of Kanyupa, and I'm totally butchering this. I apologize. Um, and the most famous burial site in central Tibet.
Did you
Uh,
pick it because it was death related?
yes, I did.
Hey, dope. Love it. Thank you.
But I wanted to pick something that wasn't morbid, that was kind of
Okay.
cool. And I thought sky burials are pretty cool.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. So, what is a sky burial? It's a funeral practice in which a human corpse is placed on a mountaintop to decompose while exposed to the elements or to be eaten by scavengers. I guess that's a little bit a
It's
more
life,
morbid
baby.
for
It's nature. It's nature. It's okay.
this.
I like it.
Okay. Well, with that being said, we are close to the end of our show today.
Oh my god.
I have a couple more questions for
Shoot.
you. Before the interview, you said, as I get older, I crave more stability and routine. I'm learning to meet that new version of myself. How can young professionals get back into alignment as our needs and desires change over time?
Sorry, but I don't know. um I I can't say that I have the answer to that honestly. Um other than like once again, I guess listening to your body, listening to what you crave and what your body's telling you that it needs, but I don't know. That seems like a cop out answer and I don't know. I feel like I have to be super wise to be able to answer this one and I'm not.
So I think it's okay to say, I'm living through it, right? Like,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
and that's what I would say as well is I don't know if I have a great answer for this. I would say remain adaptable and give yourself permission to change your mind
Yes, I
about what
think
you
that's a
want.
huge one. Mhm.
Because I
Yeah.
think when we're so focused on a dream or a goal,
Yeah.
sometimes we get so like attached to that idea,
Yeah.
that vision, that when things come up in our lives that seem like they're going to derail the goal or
Yeah.
push us in a new direction, we're very resistant to it. And sometimes that might actually be what we need. Maybe we just
Mhm.
need a push in a new direction to discover something new. And I would say be open to it, right?
Yeah.
Give yourself permission to change with the tides.
Change is inevitable in life, so make friends with it and yeah, that's that. Shit's
Yeah.
gonna happen. Shit's gonna change no matter what.
Yeah.
Meow.
This
So
cat. I swear.
you just never
Uh,
know when you're going to get her. So here's the deal. You've already
mhm.
guessed where I'm at.
Yeah.
But I still have no idea where you are, other than the fact that you are in Argentina, someone close to you built it, and that person is not Wikipediable.
No.
So my guess, you said it's not your backyard, but it could be potentially be someone else's backyard. Is this the backyard of your grandfather?
Yes! What? Oh my god. This is amazing. Holy
Yes.
shit. Wow. Amazing.
Man. Honey.
Wow. Yep. We both won. I don't know what to give you, but yes. Good
Your
job.
presence is the greatest gift of all time.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit more about where you are.
Um
And you are in Argentina, so tell me about
yeah,
that.
so
Yeah.
funny enough, like when we had this conversation about planning for this and you said I was like, I know exactly what my background is going to be. She'll never get it. I didn't know that I was going to be in Argentina while we did this call. So I decided to come here like 5 days ago. And now I'm in my hometown, Rosario. I am not at that house, but I will be tomorrow morning. Actually, I'm going to visit. Um, so my grandpa, when I was about, I don't know, 6, 7, something like that, he started this project. This is his house. He used to build houses for a living back in the day. And this used to be the backyard, but it was full of like junk, basically. He cleaned it up and turned it into this. And he called it Patio Romano, which I guess is like a Roman backyard, the translation would be. And yeah, it was like his life project. And he was super proud of what he accomplished, would walk around with pictures of it and show everybody in the neighborhood and whoever wanted to listen. And I love it. Technically, I now own this house in a sense because like it got passed down to my mom. And so it's going to get passed down to me. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And very recently, I realized he was so creative and like he wanted to build things and I'm rediscovering my creativity because I've always considered myself to be not creative at all, which is funny because now I'm doing a creative job like my business. So I'm reconnecting to my creativity through him and like I don't know. Anyway, I'm obsessed with my grandpa and my grandparents and this place. So yeah.
I'm obsessed with your grandpa. I think this is really cool. And that you're kind of getting back, you're reconnecting with. I believe that creativity is can be hereditary and kind of like that passed down through us, through our bloodline.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's awesome that you are recreating with, and also believe creativity can be a spiritual practice. And
I think
so
it is. Yeah.
yeah, and so I think it's beautiful that you're kind of finding your own way of expressing your creativity, but
Hmm.
then that you also have this wonderful, beautiful example of what it looks like to build something purely for the joy of it, and
Yeah.
you know,
And years in the making, and here it is.
it's gorgeous.
Thank you. I love it.
I would love to have mangoes and pineapples in the center of that.
Those are not growing there, but same.
Okay, cool. Well, so I have. Do you have time for um, two more questions?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to skip this question because I feel like it's a really good one, and I would love to get your insights on this. But
Mhm.
can you tell us more about a time when you had to take the leap of faith on a dream goal, even when you didn't feel like you were ready to go after it? And like, what advice would you give to a young professional who is in a space like that? Like they're in a space where they're needing to take the leap on a dream or a goal that they have, but they don't quite feel like they're ready to get
Yeah.
started.
Okay, so yes, I can think of a time because it happened very recently. As I said, I started my web design business so now it's December, around July of this year. I decided I'm gonna start doing brand design. For forever, I would have never thought that I could do it. But I started getting clues from my environment and people being like, you would be really good at this. I didn't feel ready at all to say, okay, now I'm going to do brand design. However, right before I decided to announce to the world that I was going to do this, the world, my followers, whatever, um, I did this challenge for myself on social media where I've made myself really uncomfortable and I posted every day for 30 days why someone should hire me to be their web designer. Through that challenge that I did, I got other people to join me in it and I got comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that somehow led to me to the decision, the decision making process of deciding to do this new thing that felt totally scary and I wasn't ready for it whatsoever. It just felt easier for me to live with that unknown and say, fuck it, I'm just gonna try it. Um, so yeah, basically, that's what I did, and I'm glad. I'm glad that it's just hard to do when you don't feel ready at all.
Yeah. I mean, selling yourself is hard to do, especially
Oh
when
yeah.
you're ready.
You know, another thing that I think we should do more of is brag about our wins, like brag about ourselves. This is not something I came up with. Like, there's this girl, she's a business coach. Her name is Julia Wells, and I've been following her for a long, long time. She trademarked the term pussy based business, and it basically is talks about using pleasure and making sure that kind of like your business is infused with pleasure and stuff like that. But she really talks about doing the things that are uncomfortable because that's how kind of you progress with things. And this challenge that I did was a version of something she's done before in the past that I've heard her talk about many, many times. And it never felt like the right time for me to do it. But I can see how doing the uncomfortable things that don't feel right lead to juicy things happening. And it led to somehow me being like, you know what? I will try brand design. And I just decided to do it and said, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but at least I'm going to try. You know, it's that same sort of theme throughout my life. I'm just going to try it and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think we fear failure
Oh, yeah.
so much that we don't even give ourselves the opportunity to succeed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's a process of really unlearning a lot of bad or unhelpful ways of thinking
Mm-hmm.
so that we can actually put ourselves out there and try something new and be okay with maybe it doesn't pop off immediately,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like maybe, I'm at this for a few years before, anyone even cares or anyone
Yeah.
even notices. But at least I am taking an idea and taking a vision and putting it into existence and creating something that could be valuable or meaningful to someone else.
Yeah.
And I
It's
think
about the ripple effects, baby.
it's all about the ripple. It's all about
Mm-hmm.
the ripple. I need like a wave sound.
No, don't do that one. I'm scared of water.
Bracelets.
Well, I'm scared of waves, like tsunamis. I have nightmares all the time of tsunamis, but I always survive. I'm a pro at making it out of the huge tsunami wave, but I always have those
Maybe
dreams.
you were a surfer in a past life.
I hope not. I don't know. I just think I drowned in a past life. Actually, that's more likely. Yeah, that
Um,
might be it.
okay, cool. Well, I have one final question for you. It's a question that we ask every guest that comes on the show, and that is, how do you describe success?
Hmm. Um, I think it's personal. I don't think there's like an actual definition that should apply to everybody. I think success is whatever you think success means to you. I think success has to do with the answer to the question, are you living your life in alignment with how you want to live it? So it just really depends on people's values and yeah, like their dreams and all those things. Yeah. That's all I got. So
That is
depends.
perfect. That's perfect. And it's true. Everyone who comes on this show who answers this question answers it in a different way. And
Yeah.
that's the point, is success is very personal for
Yeah.
you. And I think we all have this idea that there's some pie in the sky, like to be successful, and this expectation from people in our lives of you need to be successful in order
Yeah.
to survive or
Right.
at work. And the question that I would start asking is, well, what is success to you? Because
Right.
what you deem as successful may not necessarily be how I describe
Precisely.
it,
And
right?
the trouble comes when people try to live in others' ideas of success. When you're not living your version of success, that's where the issue comes in. And also, I almost hate the word success. Just fuck success. Like, just do your thing, live, try things out. Doesn't have to be successful or a failure. How about it just is? You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
We give ourselves compassion to
Yeah.
just exist and be.
Yeah. That's the point of being human, baby.
Hey. Well, thank you so much for
Yeah.
the show and for sharing all of your insights and having fun with me with all of our new sound effects that
Yeah.
we
Meow.
I feel like it's definitely your favorite.
I
Uh,
love it. Yeah.
can you tell us more about what's coming up for you? You talked about launching the new season of Conversations on Death. Tell us a little bit more about what's coming up for you and how our listeners can find you.
Okay, so currently, you can find me at designbylorena.com, but you won't be able to find me there for a long time. So I don't want to say what the new name of the brand will be because I haven't told anybody. But I guess I will redirect Design by Lorena to my new URL. So yeah, come check me out. And also Conversations on Death. I took a 2-year break while I was building my business, and it's back as of like 3 days ago or something like that. So that's the podcast. If you want to be inspired to live your life a better way, or like whatever your definition of success is, um, and learn the many lessons that death can teach the living, come check me out. What else can I say? Yeah, it's design.by.lorena on Instagram now, but it won't be for long. So just come to my website. You'll find links to my Instagram or whatever. And please reach out if you want, because, yeah, I love connecting with people.
Yeah. Well, I highly recommend your podcast. I've listened to
Thanks.
several interviews. There
Thank
was
you.
one that was playing in my mind about the guy who got dragged under a train. Um,
Oh, yeah.
man, like that. I was just thinking about that last week. It just popped up. So you're telling some really great stories, and it really makes you think about death and again the kind of legacy that you want to leave behind. So
Yeah.
thank you again for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing all of your insights. It's been such a pleasure catching up with you again.
Yes.
And
Thank you so much.
yeah, and the fact that you joined us from Argentina. Like,
I know. It's meant to be.
yeah,
I love it. Thank you so much. This was so fun.
I'm so glad that you enjoyed the show. And with that, my friends, we will peace out.